Well, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the S800 Sky Shadow Reptile. So this is from Banggood. It's a really cool model. We're going to go over all the little aspects of it. Now, I know there's been a couple of videos out there. I just want to give you guys my take on it and what I thought about it. I'm just pulling it out of the box, and we will be building this up very soon. So let's start off by talking a little bit about what this kit is. Basically, it's an 800mm wing that is made with molded EPP. Now, I've had a couple of experiences with molded EPP. The first one being the full-size Drac by Right Wing, which is a fantastic model, and also the Micro or the Nano Sky Hunter. Now, what this is basically, if you guys know what the legit wing foam is, it's basically that type of foam put into a mold that instead of it being hot wire cut. So it leaves a nice smooth surface that really doesn't need to be finished by much. You can finish it with laminate if you wish, but it's right out of the box. It's extremely tough, and it requires very little finishing, and it's molded with all the spar lines and the pockets for the servos and the holes that you need for the VTXs right out of the kit. And it also has these nice hinge lines that actually are pretty durable. So that's my experience with molded EPP. It's a great material to work with. So let's just go over the contents of the kit real quick. I've taken the liberty of laying everything out, and also there's these little pieces here that get cut off from the wing. Basically, there's some little tabs that you need to cut off here, and also on the these wing pieces here are stuck together. So I went ahead and took those things apart. To start off with, there's a really nice decal kit, and I've seen some kits that have been built up with these decals on. I'm probably not going to use these. I might use portions of these just for some labeling, but I'm going to put some bright colors, most likely some white to contrast the black. For when I'm flying it, I can actually see it, because black really is tough for orientation. So I'll probably put a different color on the top than I will on the bottom, and we'll get to that when I get to the build video. Now, it has the full wing schematic, and I've heard that this one might be an updated version, because this has some holes in the top lid here to allow some air to come through the battery bay. So this may be a V2, so maybe Matthew Ogborn can comment on that for me if he gets to this. So very nice instructions, just one page for each parameter, top and bottom of the wing, and also it comes with a flight controller. Now, this is a version that basically is the kit version, and it comes with a full flight stabilization system that you can use. I'm going to personally not use that, so if there's any of you guys who are S800 pilots out there that have fried your little flight stabilization board, let me know and I'll send this to you. I'll charge you postage on it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this aside, and let's just take a look at it real quick. Basically, this ends up being a power distribution board and a flight controller, very similar to what you would have on a mini quad. Mini quad parts is a good way of thinking about this airplane. It'll take most mini quad parts, so if you guys are mini quadders out there, you want to get into a fixed wing, this is a great way to do it. And there's also a 5-volt back in here somewhere that I don't see right off the bat here, so let's see here. So this is what the flight control board looks like, and there's a full schematic on how this goes together with your model. Like I said, I'm just not going to be using this. Not for any personal reasons, it's just I like to run without stabilizers or the option to turn it on or off. So there's a host of carbon pieces in here. I believe this is part of the motor mount, and also a cover for the ESC bay. There's some covers for your VTXs here. So this right here is the VTX cover. These are covers for the top of the battery bay. There's 2 of these. That I'm not sure if I'll actually even need these. Just additional weight, really. Looks like this might be something to do with the battery strap. I'll have to look into that. I'm not positive on that. Another one. This is the ESC cover, and this is the motor mount that goes on the back. This goes along with this wooden piece, which is part of the motor mount as well. Now, the motor mount, what happens is this gets glued to the fuselage, and this has some small standoffs that space the motor mount in front and back of the wing, actually, which allows you to get to your screws in the back here. But a lot of guys don't do that because it spaces the motor too far back. So this, a lot of times guys will just put this directly onto the fuselage. Makes it harder to get to your motor if you need to replace it, but it's more of a permanent mount at that point. Okay. Alright, so what else do they put in the kit? So there is obviously some, this is obviously some motor wires here. These are the servo horns and the connections for your servos here. Just some standard screws for putting the kit together. And this is that Beck I was telling you about. I believe it's a 5-volt Beck here, so hopefully you guys can see that. Yeah. Okay. So you get quite a bit for your money. I mean, this is basically a $60 wing. Here is it's like some vibration tape here. This is a double-sided stick tape, but it's very, very thick. Okay, so let's take a look at the quality of the EPO, the EPP, excuse me. You can see how nice and smooth that is in the light there. I'm gonna be putting this together with goop, which should be able to glue this together very well. Now, the thing about this expanded polypropylene is that you do need to roughen up the surface before you glue it together, because otherwise it'll just come apart. So let's take a look at the wing here, and you'll see in the wing here has this nice these brass inserts where you put your screws into for your VTX bay here. So this goes right on the top here. That's going to fit on really nice. So, I mean, how awesome is that? It's really cool. This is kind of next level thinking as far as the engineering goes. Now you'll see there's some spar caps that I have not glued on yet. So the spar caps go just like this. And this makes a real nice fit for the carbon spars that come along with the kit. I don't know if they're actually carbon or if they're glass fiber. But this, when you glue these in, it's a nice tight fit on these spars here. You can actually make this a removable wing. So in case you wanted to make a quick travel wing, look how quick and easy this is to get going here. Look how small that would be. That'd be really cool. Alright, so let's look at the center section real quick. I went ahead and took the liberty of putting the spars in the center section here. These are easily pull out here. It's a nice tight fit. I mean, they're not sliding around or anything like that. Here is the battery bay, and this is held together with magnets. So I have a 2800 milliamp pack in here, so something as big as a 2800 milliamp pack will fit right in here. And it's nice, it has some slots right here, so you can put a battery strap and some reinforcement right here. You might do that, and this actually might be okay to put on the bottom of the frame. Oh, no, you can't. This is meant to go on in the inside here, and then you use the included battery strap in. So guys, let me just draw your attention to the very front pod of this wing. It has this insert that goes in just perfectly. I'm not going to put this in here right now because it's such a tight fit that it's really hard to get out. So in case you're not running a GoPro or FPV, you can just slap this in here and glue it in, or leave it in, and like I said, it's not going to come out once you get it in. But basically there is a cutout right here for your FPV camera and a slot here for your GoPro camera. And the way this wing is set up, it's made to have the weight of a GoPro in here, I think, which is 70 grams, something right around there. So if you're gonna not run a HD cam, you need to make a slug that'll go in here that'll be weighing the same amount. Here's the battery bay. Like I said, it's got the magnets that are already on here, which is fantastic. It has a couple of holes here for the exhaust to come out, or heat to escape, and a little pocket here for my ESC. Now the ESC I'm going to be running is from my mini quad, and it is a 30 amp ESC. It's from this guy right here. You can see I toasted that one. I had an ESC fire, so I'm going to take one of these other ones since I need to get some more ESCs for this quad here. But this is the favorite Little B 30 amp ESCs. I'll put a link to those in the description below as well. That should be a perfect size ESC to go right in there. It's a really nice compact size. I'll probably be running the carbon door that's on here that leads over to your motors, and like I said, this is where your motor mount is going to be. Now if you do run the standoffs and whatnot, you make sure that you glue this on with some goop, and make sure you roughen up the surface really well. I might actually put some metal, I might bend some long metal staples to push into the motor mount so that the motor mount does not come off at all. So that seems like a really good way of going. I would like to run like a 2600 kV motor, but I don't have any spares at the moment, so I'm going to run one of these RS2205 2300 kV Emax motors. This should take care of the power just fine. One of the things I really like about this wing is the fact that it has these really cool winglets that are going to go on just like this. I've never had an airplane that just has upward winglets, and I really can't wait to try this out. So this should be pretty cool. I love the look of the wing. Everything about this kit screams quality, and I'm really happy to check this wing out. Now, I did pay my own money for this. Banggood did not send me this for free, so I did pay out of my pocket for this, just to let you guys know. What else is there? There's the spars. So, obviously we have the front and rear spar for the wings, which are going to basically plug in just like this. It's going to plug in just like that, so it'll look just about like that. And the other spars that we have are going to be in the front of the wing, which is going to be right here. We have a long and a short. So I believe the long one is going to be glued in right here, like that, and this smaller one is going to go right into the elevon. Now that's really good. I love to have elevons that are reinforced with carbon. You're pretty much on your own for where you're going to put the horn inside the wing. All I can say is make sure that the holes for the horn are lined up dead on top of the hinge line. Make sure you do that. And the hinge doesn't feel stiff, but I might actually take my knife and put a dotted line down through here just to make it a little bit easier for the servo to go up and down. So that is the S800, guys. I really can't wait to get this together. It should be a really quick build. I'll go and probably do like a time-lapse build on it and maybe a voiceover so I'm not boring you guys. I know there's a lot of videos out there. I'm sure you guys might want to get my take on it, but it's going to be straightforward. This is going to be a real stark difference from my experiences building legit wings, which is a process. It's like a pro build. This is something that's just going to get thrown together pretty quickly. From everything I've heard, even the guy from Sweep Wings, the owner built and bought one of these, and he's like, I can't fault this thing. It flies really, really well, which is a really huge thing for him to say about a Chinese product. What's nice is this is not a knockoff. This is kind of an original product. So, I know, what do you guys think? I can't wait to get this together. Thanks to the other YouTube channels that brought this to my attention, Matthew Ogborn, of course, being one, and the other couple of RC channels. I'll put their names up here so you guys can check out their channels as well. But, alright guys, thanks for joining my channel as always. I'll talk to you later. Bye.